It's Crypto Vlog, guys. In today's video, QuasarChain. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
And before we start, guys, I just want to let you know that I'm not your financial advisor and that you should make your own decisions before investing into a project. Let me ask you something. How many times have you actually wanted to use crypto? Not just trade it, but really use it. Maybe you opened a D app, maybe you tried sending something on Ethereum, and then you saw the fees. Or you waited for the transaction, and suddenly it just didn't feel worth it anymore. That's the gap most people don't talk about. Crypto is powerful, but it's not always practical. And that exact gap between potential and usability is where QuasarChain is trying to build something meaningful. Now here is what's interesting. QuasarChain isn't trying to replace Ethereum. It's not positioning itself as the next Ethereum killer or anything like that. Instead, it's taking a much more grounded approach. It's asking a simple question. What if Ethereum could just work better? So what they've built is a layer 2 solution, meaning it sits on top of Ethereum and enhances it, but without sacrificing what makes Ethereum valuable in the first place. You still get security, you still get compatibility, but the experience changes completely. And that's where things start to get interesting. When you look under the hood, QuasarChain is built using ZK-validity rollups. Now I'm not going to throw technical jargon at you, let's just translate what that means in real life. Instead of every transaction being processed individually on Ethereum, which is slow and expensive, QuasarChain processes them off-chain in batches, and then sends a proof back to Ethereum that says everything here is valid. That one shift changes everything, because from your perspective as a user, you're not thinking about layers, proofs, or batching. You just notice that things go through almost instantly, fees are basically negligible, and you're not waiting around anymore. It starts to feel less like using blockchain, and more like just using an app. And honestly, that's the direction the space needs to go. This is the part where a lot of projects lose people. They sound great in theory, but when you ask, what can I actually do with this, there's no clear answer. QuasarChain is built differently. From the beginning, the focus is on real usage. Not speculation, not just holding a token, but actually interacting with an ecosystem. So whether it's DeFi, payments, or gaming, the goal is to make those experiences seamless. And one feature that really stands out here is something called sponsor pay. Because one of the biggest barriers in crypto is gas fees. People don't want to think about them, calculate them, or worry about them. With sponsor pay, applications themselves can cover those fees. So from the user's point of view, you're just clicking, interacting using the app, and everything works without that constant friction. It's a small shift technically, but a massive shift in a user experience. When you go a bit deeper, you start to see that this isn't just about speed or fees. It's about building an environment where everything connects smoothly. And the core of it is something called Quasar EVM Plus. And what that really means is developers don't have to learn something new or start from scratch. If they've built on Ethereum before, they can build here too. Same tools, same logic, just faster and more efficient. And then around the core, you have bridges connecting multiple blockchains. So assets aren't stuck in one place, liquidity can move, users can move, applications can expand beyond a single ecosystem, and instead of everything being fragmented, it starts to feel unified. Now here's where things shift from technology to growth, because no matter how good the tech is, a project only really comes alive when people start using it. QuasarChain introduces something called Hydro System. And instead of just rewarding passive holding, it's built around participation. So if you're early, if you're active, if you contribute to the ecosystem, there are actually incentives tied to that. Part of that includes a referral system, and instead of feeling like forced promotion, it feels more like shared upside. You bring people in, the network grows, and you're rewarded for being part of that early expansion. That kind of structure tends to create organic momentum, because people aren't just watching the project, they're involved in it. Now let's talk about something that usually gets overlooked, but matters a lot over time. And that's how the token itself is structured. With QuasarChain, the supply is fixed. But what's interesting is how it evolves. Instead of flooding the market early, tokens are released gradually over time. So you don't get the typical scenario where everything unlocks and early pressure kills the momentum. On top of that, there are deflationary mechanisms. each year a portion of the supply gets removed from the circulation. It starts higher and then slowly decreases as the network matures. So instead of aggressive short-term tokenomics, it feels more like a system designed to stabilize and grow over time. And of course, none of this matters if there is no trust behind it. So let's address that directly. QuasarChain has been audited by Consult. And what's good here is that the audit isn't hidden or vague. You can actually go and check it yourself. It's publicly available, for example, through their GitHub audit report. And beyond that, the company is officially registered in both the United Kingdom and the European Union, which adds another layer of legitimacy you don't always see at this stage. These aren't flashy features, but they're the kind of details that matter when you're evaluating a project seriously. One thing I personally appreciate is how they're approaching development. They're not trying to launch everything at once. They're building it step by step. First, the foundation, getting the core technology right. Then, expansion, testnet, bridges, functionality. Then, opening it up to users and developers. And only after that, scaling fully. Even the white paper reflects that mindset. It's designed as a living document, something that evolves as the ecosystem grows. And that tells you a lot about the approach. This isn't about hype cycles, it's about building something that can actually last. So when you take everything into account, QuasarChain isn't trying to be the loudest project in the space. It's trying to solve a very real problem. How do you keep everything that makes Ethereum powerful, but remove the parts that make it difficult to use? And if they execute this properly, what you end up with is something simple but powerful. A blockchain experience that people don't have to think about. They just use it. If you're interested, I definitely recommend taking a closer look. Go through the website, explore the ecosystem, and even check the audit for yourself, because this is one of those projects that's still early, but clearly focused on building something long term. So guys, that will be everything for this video. I hope you find this video informative and entertaining. Don't forget to share this video, subscribe to this channel, like it, and put notification on. Join this amazing project called QuasarChain and check all this information just for yourself. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.